So Gypsy Rose Blanchard got her cult members to come after me. And I've been getting phone calls and things like that. And allegedly, she's been talking trash about me. What, really? Is she really? Okay, well, send this message to you, Gypsy Rose. You're trash. You've got blood on your hands, and your little game. People see right through you. And Christy egging her on like the wonderful stepmother that you are. I know what you all did to Dee Dee. I know. We all know what you did to Dee Dee. So don't you act like any of that. Y'all need to step down. Step down.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is back in the headlines, and not for the reasons she probably hoped. Her latest social media comeback with BlownBeautyArt seemed like it might be her clean slate, but in true Gypsy fashion, the whole thing unraveled just as quickly as it began. It started innocently enough on her backup TikTok account. A user named Amber J dropped a supportive comment telling Gypsy she was proud of her and to keep us in the dark. Gypsy shot back with, "Amber, I actually kind of like you. You all right?" Amber doubled down with a playful, "I knew you would get roller skates already." Blue heart, and Gypsy responded, "I need to get some." It was harmless banter, but it didn't stay lighthearted for long. While TikTok was getting the casual, friendly Gypsy, her revived Instagram was showing a different story. The account was still active, but the numbers were tanking, with nearly another 10,000 followers gone, and then came the spark that set the comment sections on fire. Gypsy wandered into a TikTok post from creator Beverly Marshexo and dropped her take on abstract art, bringing up that infamous banana taped to a wall that once sold for millions. She admitted she didn't see it as art herself, but reminded everyone that art is subjective. It doesn't have to be perfect. Of course, the internet pounced. The conversation quickly shifted from the beauty of abstract art to the difference between a craft project anyone can do and work created by skilled, educated artists with years of training. Beverly Marshexo had already responded to another comment from Gypsy in which she bragged about being private outside of her art, saying no one really knows what's going on in her life, and she loved it that way, but privacy wasn't going to last long. Truthfully, Trisha, the notorious Dr. Phil Allen with her own art business, wasn't having it. Within days of Gypsy's comments making the rounds, the BlownBeautyArt TikTok vanished again. Just like that, the rebrand was dead in the water. Before pulling the plug, Gypsy left one last parting shot in the comments. She was not advocating for anything anymore, and had gone private, claiming she could now spend all day in the comment section thanks to her freedom of speech. That's when critics swooped in, reminding her that free speech doesn't give you a pass to spread private information or cause harm. Others pointed out the obvious: how could she be in the comments all day long when she's supposed to be caring for a very young child? Then, as always, the conversation took a sharp left turn into her past.
Hey, you and your cult is gonna come after me? You messed with the wrong one, sister. Or brother. I think you're more like brother. The unaliving of Dee Dee was so vicious and so horrific. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna simp for Little Miss Sunshine? Well, let me tell you something. Let me educate you, Bree. Man, you're simping for the wrong one. Why, she can't stand on her own 2 feet by herself because she uses people? Ha! You're funny, you're comical, you're hilarious. So go ahead and try to simp more, but we're not buying what you're selling. Try again, mister. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, feet. Out where they run, out where they stay all day in the sun. Wish I could be part of your world. Because I want to be YouTube famous. I think that I can be, because this is where I belong. On the silver screen. Well, it's not really silver, it's all kinds of color. And well, anyway, I think my dream should come true. And I should be YouTube famous. Finally, break through the algorithm. Make me viral.
Some supporters argued it was abusive that Gypsy wasn't allowed to date at nearly 24 while living under DD's roof. But those who've combed through the Freedom of Information Act records know a different story. Messages between Gypsy and Nicholas Gojon revealed she talked to over 6 men online, sent topless photos, and even flirted with ex-cons and people with serious substance abuse and mental health issues. There was even talk of a man named Dan Glidewell allegedly hanging around for DD's pain medication, something mentioned during David Blanchard's interrogation. If DD banned her from inviting internet strangers into their home, maybe that wasn't abuse, maybe it was self-preservation. But when Gypsy's own words to Nicholas show she was actively chatting up multiple men anyway, the poor Gypsy who couldn't date narrative starts to look a lot less clear-cut. And just when it seemed the drama couldn't get pettier, it did. One of Gypsy's defenders leapt into a TikTok thread to argue that it's perfectly fine for her to sell small 8x8 or 10x10 paintings for $150, even if she uses cheap Dollar General paint. Their reasoning? Real famous painters don't use expensive paints either. That's when the art world collectively clutched its pearls. Anyone who's cracked open an art history book knows the truth. From pigments like lapis lazuli, a rare deep blue mineral mined in Afghanistan and prized for centuries, to other high-quality materials, great artists have always invested in their craft. This time, the conversation swerved into the world of the old masters, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, Rembrandt, Caravaggio, and the kind of paint they used centuries ago compared to what Gypsy's been working with today. Back then, getting certain pigments, like the deep blue from lapis lazuli mined in Afghanistan, wasn't just expensive, it was a full-scale mission. We're talking long, dangerous journeys, astronomical costs, and a process so painstaking that even apprentices spent hours grinding minerals, crushing stones, or sourcing colors from earth, bones, insects, and rare minerals. Every drop of paint was made by hand, bound with oils or animal-based binders, and prepared for use with skill that took years to master. Fast forward to now, and you can stroll into a dollar store, toss a bottle of acrylic craft paint into your cart, and start painting within minutes. Which brings us back to Gypsy, whose colorful pieces, as critics have pointed out, are being made largely with one of the cheapest paints you can buy, Dollar General's own brand. Now, to be fair, she's free to price her work however she likes, and if people want to pay $150 for an 8x8 canvas they could recreate themselves in an afternoon, that's on them. But for those in the professional art world, where a single tube of high-grade paint from brands like Michael Harding, Rembrandt, Winsor & Newton, or Holbein can cost hundreds, even up to $600, the comparison isn't exactly flattering. Still, the paint debate was only one part of the chaos.
The art is not good, so it just makes it look like another scam. And here you are just scrolling through videos about yourself, which I guess I can't blame you. There's so many. But it's the fact you came back with the art. Like, that just makes you look desperate for money.
Babe, you're in prison when that happened. It sold for $120,000, and it's something that would never happen again. Like, you guys, she's comparing her artwork to the banana with duct tape.
Well, again, because she finally got away from her mother. But don't you think that's a red flag, Kiki? Come on, let's use our brain today. Come on, Kiki, you're old enough to use that brain of yours.
I said I wasn't going to talk about Brie anymore, but this is pertaining to Gypsy, so it's fine. I just think it's so ironic how she was being so condescending and being like, oh, you old enough to use your brain, while telling her that 23-year-old Gypsy was forced to drink from a bottle and forced to wear a diaper by her mother at 23 years old, but okay. And then someone else comments, wow, when I was 23, I had 3 kids. Didi must have been really controlling. Like, that's how she meant it. But they are so used to being defensive that when they saw this girl commented, I'm 23 and married with 3 kids, they fucking went off on her. Well, you should be so fucking lucky. Gypsy was not that lucky. Didi was so fucking controlling. Like, this girl was on their side. She was agreeing that, wow, Didi must have been really controlling, because when I was 23, I was married with 3 kids. Like, they're so used to being defensive that they're even fucking attacking people on their side. And then last thing, I'm sorry, I thought this was crazy. This guy came in to ask questions about Gypsy, and like, he wasn't being mean, but he wasn't believing anything Bree said, so this is how Bree retaliated.
Look a little Eminem. Promoting? It's like a savage form of tactics for cabbage.
This guy was just asking you questions, and he just didn't really believe anything you said, so you showed everybody his TikTok video and made fun of him while he's still in the chat. Okay.
Almost as if on cue, Gypsy's main TikTok, the one she's had for nearly 2 years and which once boasted over 10 million followers, went dark. And that's when another familiar figure entered the chat, truthfully Trisha. If you know anything about Trisha, you know she doesn't just poke the bear, she drags it into the spotlight and dares it to react. She's been posting a steady stream of content targeting Gypsy, captions, screenshots, throwback photos of Dee Blanchard, and plenty of long-winded rants. She's even managed to weave in old grievances with Phil, because apparently no feud is too far in the rearview to revive. But here's the twist, Trisha's not just stirring the pot for Gypsy directly. She's also setting her sights on Bree, one of Gypsy's known friends and defenders. Anyone who's followed this circle of drama knows that Bree can't resist responding, whether in live streams or posts, and Trisha seems to be banking on exactly that. It's bait, plain and simple, and it's bait that's been working on bigger creators for years. Truthfully, Trisha took it to a whole new level. Now she's waving the Justice for Diva banner, claiming that anyone who makes a sizable donation to a non-profit in Dee Blanchard's name will get one of her paintings in return. On the surface, it sounds like a heartfelt tribute, but the timing and the target make people wonder if there's more to it. Because here's the thing, she's also selling her own BlownBeautyArt. And if you're already connecting the dots, yeah, the name is identical to Gypsy's brand, which means anyone searching for Gypsy's art might stumble right into Trisha's videos, her merch, and her rants. If that's not strategic, I don't know what is. It wouldn't be out of character. Trisha has been chasing internet fame for years, and she's never been shy about her jealousy toward creators with bigger followings. She's said it herself, numbers matter to her. And Gypsy's old art page once pulled in millions of followers, so it's not hard to imagine this being part troll, part sabotage, part self-promotion. Meanwhile, Gypsy's Instagram is still standing. She's still posting. She's still selling. But the backdrop is getting louder, with Trisha's constant uploads flooding the search results. And let's be real, Trisha has a reputation. People have accused her of causing chaos in her own personal life, from family disputes to allegations that her parents even have a permanent restraining order against her. At first, some thought she might eventually share her real story, maybe even win people over with her humor. But the sheer volume of content she's been churning out, one post after another, has shifted the vibe. It's not just occasional commentary. It's a calculated, relentless push. And whether it's genuine beef, a clout-chasing stunt, or just her idea of a running joke, it's working. And that's the latest chapter in this messy Gypsy Rose Blanchard art world drama, with jealousy, trolling, and a whole lot of receipts flying around. If you thought this was over, think again, because it's looking like the next round is already loading. Stay tuned, because I'll be watching it all go down.